let's go right to our guests. How about that? With us right now, Jennifer Robinson and Jenny Bardroff from the Franklin County Health Department. Thanks, guys, for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, you're going to get us straightened out and clear up some rumors. And
we're going to try.
Hopefully.
So, from what I've heard, 21 cases so far confirmed in Kentucky.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll start there. I think the governor announced that this morning also. Lots of news from him this morning. I want to talk to you all about several people, I think close to Kathy and myself, have told us we're going to go out there and we're going to live life like normal. And we're going to do all the same stuff. We're going to go to church. We're going to do all the things. And we're going to go to the gym. And we're not worried about it.
Yeah. I'm healthy. It's okay.
That's right. They're 30 to 60. They're not going to catch it. Yeah. And if they do, they'll be okay. Yeah. So how would you all recommend maybe reframing people's thinking that are in that mindset right now?
Well, I think the biggest thing that we need to realize is it's not about us. So we may be young and we may be healthy and we may not get it, or we may get it and not show signs of it, but it's not about them. It's about those that are immune compromised and they already have other issues, or they're older, because that is the group of people that are most susceptible right now. So it's really important that everyone understands that it's not about just them. It's about the other people that are around you. I know that, there are a lot of grandparents that watch, their grandchildren. Mm-hmm. And so you want to make sure that you still have a grandma there to take care of Johnny when you need her to.
Right. So I do have a question about that. So say that is an issue and you do have children that the grandparents watch. Should they suspend that for now?
I think the biggest thing is making sure that you're healthy. If you have any type of symptoms of shortness of breath, a really bad cough, trouble breathing, and a fever, which is the big thing, that's when you want to start really isolating yourself away from other people. Okay. But if they're both well, there shouldn't be any reason why that grandma shouldn't be able to take care of her grandchild for now.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Yes. and I think that's exactly why the governor in our state and other states are trying to stay out in front of this, and that's why we cancel school. It's not because the kids are especially affected by this or in danger. It's to make sure that they don't go out spreading it across the state, and to protect our grandparents. So if they're both healthy right now, that's good news, and the reason we did that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And children can be gross.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yes.
It's important to wash your hands.
Yes. Wash or have your hand sanitizer.
Yeah. Yes, you all do. We're ready.
I know you all are set. So that's very, very important to make sure that if you are staying at home too, that you're doing extra cleaning at home too, and that you're still washing your hands and you're still taking those types of precautions. So we still are pushing those public health messages.
Yeah. Okay. That's a very good point. And along those lines and what you said earlier, the governor this morning reiterated several times for us all to do our patriotic duty, as he called it, as citizens. So what would you say is our responsibility to the rest of our community? And you touched on this a little bit, but to our community and to our families, what is he talking about when he says do our duty?
Do you want to take it?
I think a big thing for our community is if you are sick, stay home. Because even if you don't have the coronavirus, you're still spreading something. And so it's just important, if you are sick, stay home. Stay out of large gatherings. Stay home from church. Watch it online. I know a lot of churches in Frankfort live stream theirs via Facebook this weekend. Stay out of restaurants and things like that.
Yeah, we've got lots of services on our cable system and on Channel 10 and on Channel 20.
Right.
And
you stay home, watch Cable 10.
Absolutely.
Yes, there you go.
That's right. But they, just like you said, you're staying at home to make sure that it doesn't advance. And I think we've got I'm going to throw David a curveball here, but we've got a graphic of the 1918 flu.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Okay, and so you all can help explain this a little bit, but basically a lot of the steps we're taking right now, and we'll talk about later the fact that we closed restaurants, and the name of the game right now is just reducing contacts.
Correct.
Whether you know it or you don't know it, and there's that with this disease, this virus, particular danger in that they're that 5-day window where you don't have symptoms.
Right.
And you can go and you can spread it all around when you never know it. So this is the 1918 flu, and Philadelphia in particular did not take any steps to eliminate social contact.
Until about 2 weeks in.
Right.
2 weeks
Yeah,
in,
right.
whereas St. Louis, 2 days. 2 days in, they took those measures,
Right.
and you can see the difference of
Absolutely.
how. And the dashed line is the capacity of healthcare system.
Correct.
And this is what everybody's worried about. Talk to us about why that's the key to this whole thing: is staying home and protecting the capacity of the healthcare system.
Well, our hospital, especially here in Frankfurt, only has so much capacity. And so the idea is that if we don't overwhelm it, then they'll be able to keep up with it. And keeping up with it, I mean making sure they have enough personal protective equipment, or PPE, making sure that they have enough staff to man these places and man, the hospital itself to take care of patients. So the less that we have coming in, then the less they're going to be stressed, and then we'll be able to take care of them in a better capacity. So if we can make that spike kind of spread it out,
Right.
it helps our system in a whole.
Yeah, and the governor talked about there are numbers for every percentage. If you can just cut down your personal amount of contacts that you have with other people 50%, and it changes the numbers
Yes.
all the way. So just every time you can avoid coming into contact with another person, it helps.
Absolutely.
It cuts that exponential.
Yes. Yes.
So I just want everybody to keep that in mind, and everybody that says we'll be fine. If you take some of these steps, we will all be
Absolutely,
fine.
right. Yes.
But it's on you, and it's
Don't be
our responsibility.
brazen and think you're invincible.
Yes.
And
Right.
That's
We
just-
will all get through this, but we all have a responsibility too.
Right.
And just because someone may be healthy doesn't mean they can't spread this disease to someone who is not.
Absolutely. And I think there's a thing, especially with the governor's announcement today about closing, restaurants and business, just bars, that's just, there might be, well, that's an overreaction.
Right.
Well, if it is, great. I mean,
Yeah,
because if
right.
nothing
Right.
happens, that's the point.
Right,
I've
exactly.
seen
I'd rather
that.
be over prepared
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
not prepared.
And,
Exactly.
and certainly all the experts are saying it's not an overreaction.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. It's not.
Now I've got an important question for you all. I found out on Facebook this weekend that since the virus lives in our throats, which is true, it lives in our throats for 5 days and we don't know it's there, but that you can gargle with salt water and it'll kill it and you won't ever get it. Is this correct?
Completely false. Please don't try to gargle
Please
away
don't
the
gargle.
COVID-19. No, that is false. And really the best places to get any type of information right now is to go to the covid19.ky.gov website or the CDC's website. Both of those websites are where we as a health department are sending people if they have questions. There's new guidelines and new guidance coming out pretty much hourly right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And that is definitely the place to go to get information.
Yes.
Ladies, the best advice you can give us right now, and anything else you want to share before you leave us.
I would say, stay home if you're sick. Do just general hygiene. Make sure your hands are clean. Don't touch your face. If you're coughing or sneezing, cough into your elbow. Just everyday, normal, general hygiene.
And I'm going to reiterate something that the commissioner of schools or education said in one of the press conferences. He talked about the 3 C's, which is stay calm, stay clean, and cooperate. So
like
public
that.
health
Yeah.
loves it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We love that. So stay calm, everybody. We're going to be okay.
Yes.
You don't need to hoard
Toilet paper.
800 rolls of toilet paper. I promise you everything will be fine. Be clean. Make sure you're doing your social distancing. You're cleaning with sanitizer. You're using hand sanitizer, washing your hands. With
Avoid
soap and water.
large crowds.
Yeah, you don't need to be around anybody. There's no need to be there, so you don't need to. But don't be afraid to go to to our local businesses, especially the ones that are going to be able to do carry out. Feel free to go in and don't feel like you have to social or anti-socialize yourself and avoid people completely. But go in, maybe buy a gift certificate to help that small business out right now. And then after this all settles down, because I promise you it will, go out and then you can have dinner somewhere, you know, that you helped out during this time. So as long as we're just good neighbors and we're cooperating with one another and we're being safe and clean, we'll get through this.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much for those thoughts.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thanks
Appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Absolutely,
having us.
anytime.
Yes.
Yeah, and you all have got to go out there and do more sharing and information.
Yes,
So
yes.
we appreciate it. And when we come back, weather right here on the show.